What's up, everybody? It's your boy Saul G, aka Money Graham, coming at you another what's today? Tuesday edition of everybody's favorite relationship show. Sometimes from a polyamorous view, but most of the time, man, we just like to examine what we doing in relationships that might be keeping us single. But shout out to everybody tuning in, man. If you're watching us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Libre TV, wherever you might be watching us tonight, man, make sure you're sharing the show. Make sure you're liking the show. Make sure you're commenting on the show. Let me know who's in the building out there. Because, man, I love to give y'all shout outs, man. And love to let everybody know what's going on. So just a little quick what we gonna call this here? A little quick housekeeping, as they call it, right? Tonight, if you look at the name of the show, right? We've got it's called "Is Your Social Media Keeping You Single?" So we're gonna get into that, right? But remember, we always do live callers, man. I appreciate it when y'all call in. We're gonna be doing that probably after 15 of the hour. So make sure you're checking in for that. Also, man, just got a couple of little topics that we got to get to. I guess you could call it a trending topic, man. It's a couple of things that I did want to talk about before I get into the social media aspect of what we're gonna be talking about tonight. I do want to talk about some of you might know, probably. Oh, yeah. Number one, if you haven't paid attention, this is coming up here. If y'all didn't know, that's my dog, Kobe. There has been some controversy over exactly what type of dog he is. So I believe we're going to be doing that right around the end of October. We will get his DNA results back, and we will be doing a live DNA show. Shout out to Skissy Tobias over there checking in on YouTube. What's up, sis? So we will be doing a live Maury-like DNA test. So we will know exactly what he is. The naysayers believe he has some Chihuahua in him, but I believe he is got some Jack Russell and some Beagle in him. So we're going to definitely see where my homie Kobe actually is on the scale. So yeah, you can go ahead and check in for that. So that's going to be towards the end of the month. We're going to do our first paternity test, even though it's going to be a canine paternity test. That's going to be something fun to do. Next week, I will be, I can tell she's excited, but I'll be broadcasting live from the motherland. I will be heading to Ghana on Sunday. So y'all pray for your boy, some safe travels out there. I will be heading to the motherland next week. I'll be broadcasting live next week from the capital city, hopefully. Internet and everything else willing, I will be broadcasting live from the motherland next week. So that's going to be something else. And a quick topic that I wanted to talk about, because I wanted to kind of get a feel in the room real quick, is R. Kelly. Okay. R. Kelly was convicted of, I believe, 9 different felonies, including racketeering, sexual trafficking were the major ones, right? And I kind of want to get the feel of the room. If you call in, we're going to talk a little bit about R. Kelly, because I do think it is kind of relevant to tonight's show and our relevance to it. But I do kind of want to talk about R. Kelly a little bit. I don't know, man. It's not to say that he did. I'm not here to defend R. Kelly. I'm not here to say he's innocent. Whatever. Jeff Charles says, is Maury going to do your dog paternity test? Absolutely not. Maury is too expensive. Maybe you could do the paternity test if you're going to be available. I'll let you know about that. You kind of a celebrity. You're a big name, so maybe you can just come on just to do the dog paternity test, and that would be cool. Shout out to my boy Jeff Charles checking in. But I want to talk a little bit about R. Kelly real quick before we get into it, and not really on the charges or anything like that, because I want to connect it to the show tonight, because it's a question that I kind of have for especially the parents out there, based on what he was accused of, right? He was accused of racketeering and basically run like a sex trafficking ring with underage women, or it don't even matter. When the sex trafficking, the age doesn't matter, but I think the main part was they were supposed to be underage. So I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, I was listening to some R. Kelly before I got on the show, man, and I don't know. I think that, I'm not trying to say anything about the women who testified against him or whatnot. I'm just saying that how I want to tie this in is I want to ask you from a different perspective. It's not about guilt. It's not about innocence. It's about what role do parents play in this whole situation. So if R. Kelly is guilty of trafficking minors, do the parents hold any legal or now criminal responsibility? If R. Kelly is guilty of trafficking your child, do you feel like you should bear some of that criminal responsibility? Because as a minor, the law says they're not able to legally, for the most part, they're not able to legally make decisions as an adult. And sexual intercourse would be a action or a decision that is supposed to be made between adults. Now, I guess my kind of question that I want to kind of analyze a little bit is, do you feel that parents should bear some legal responsibility if their child is caught up in something like this? Because, not excusing R. Kelly's behavior if everything that they said that he was convicted of is true, but what I'm saying is, if your minor child is caught up in something like this, can you now be held like criminally negligent? Is there anything that should happen to the parents? So I just kind of want to just, throw that out there to the people out there watching and everything, because I thought it was very interesting, man. Not to defend R. Kelly. I can just say I'm a fan of R. Kelly's music. I think the man was a musical genius. I can't speak on his personal life, obviously, but I was a big fan of his music, man. And I was listening to the little Trapped in the Closet song, or whatever the case may be. I think one of the most brilliant songs I've ever, because it's creative. He was real creative. Not trying to sit here and have no big thing for R. Kelly, but man, I ain't gonna lie, man. With the music that we got out here, he still make good music. So that's the only reason why. What they do in their personal life is on them, especially when it's criminal. So you know what I mean. I'm not here to judge anybody. You know what I mean. I've listened to a couple of rappers that have claimed to kill people. So if I'm still gonna listen to their music, and the killing part doesn't bother me from a music perspective, not from a moral perspective, but yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and start a whole note to, oh man, he deserved whatever. Yeah, if he's found guilty, it's the court of law. It is what it is. But I just kind of want to start that. So if you do call in, we'll probably talk a little R. Kelly if you want to. But I do want to kind of get into the topic for tonight, and that is your social media keeping you single. I think this is a very important topic to discuss, because sometimes when people are single, they like to analyze and say, well, why am I single? And I think a lot of times they aren't looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, somebody might, like, if you're single, you might go and ask a friend, like, why do you think I'm single? And more than likely, your friend's not going to give you a really, really good answer. Most of the time, they're going to blame the opposite sex if you're a heterosexual, or the same sex if you're a homosexual, whatever, right? That's what they're going to blame. They're going to blame somebody else besides you. It could be certain things that you're doing. It could be your choice making in relationships and dating. It could be your dating pool. It could be a lot of things, but a lot of times we don't look inward when we're starting to try to figure out this whole dating, getting to be with somebody, finding somebody who, some people don't want to spend the rest of their life with somebody. Some people do. So depending on what your relationship goals are and what goals you set for yourself, that's going to depend on, how you feel like I am successful in whatever it is. But I titled this, is your social media keeping you single? Because as a keen observer, as a social media person, I'm very somewhat active in social media, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, book, whatever, right? I had to analyze myself, and I said, if I was still single, would my social media, cause people to be attracted to me, unattracted, turned off, whatever? Is there something that I could be doing, something that I could be posting? Is there material that I could be posting that could be keeping me single? And I kind of want to break this down, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this little picture up, right, that I had earlier. A lot of times, the majority of the day, everybody, we have this bad habit of just staring at our phones all day. Did somebody respond to something I said? Did somebody do, just anything? You might have had a little post that you might have liked, and somebody might have came through, and it's like we're constantly in our phones all day long. Okay, so it's a situation where social media has become an extension of our daily lives for most people, unless you're just completely out of the loop and not on any sort of type of social media. Now I'm going to even include like things like LinkedIn or some of the business things as well, because those are things that people are going to look at as well, right? Like if you have a LinkedIn, they're going to look at, some people have even quote unquote found a spouse, a mate, a relationship, or whatever on places like LinkedIn, right? So it's a lot of different ways that we can start to break this down. But the first way I want to break this down is, let's see what we got here. Your content, right? What is your social media about? And before I get to this, man, I just want to go ahead and, let you know that, as always, this show is brought to you by goodmoneypicks.com. So, for some of my gamblers and people out there, I'm going to go ahead and post that up. And if you know that interest, you can go to goodmoneypicks.com. You can also follow Good Money Picks on Twitter. And, we got a lot of things going on, but I'm going to go ahead and pay these bills real quick. So I'm going to be right back to talk about the content of your social media.
Pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex on.
All right, shout out to my boy Cliff checking in. Now he put white women up there, so I guess I'm gonna ask you, Cliff. Can I get a little bit more content on that? Like when you say white women, are you saying that you believe that white women are single because of their social media, or is that a declaration of what you like? I don't know. You know what I mean? Just give me a little bit of clarity on that, homie, if you don't mind. But number one, let's talk about your content. And when I say your content, that means what are you bringing to social media? Now, a lot of people are on social media for different reasons. I go back to the beginning of social media, right? When I first got introduced to Facebook, I remember MySpace, Black Planet, all those different things that you could be on, right? So Facebook, right? That was supposed to be people you went to high school with. So, I can go connect with all the people that I lost touch with when I'm in college because we didn't all go to the same school, right? So boom, I get on Facebook. And then Black Planet was like, anything goes on Black Planet. Kind of same thing with MySpace. Okay, cool. Let me pay somebody $25, get me a really, really nice profile, put me some music on there, let my profile look really, really good. And then they had the things going on, right? So that's what social media kind of sort of started as a way to reconnect with people that you already knew. Different social media outlets started to branch out to basically expand that conversation and say, okay, I can now meet new people. I can meet people with the same interests, whatever the case may be. Now social media is completely different. Let me see. My man Cliff says, what else is there to talk about, brother? We overcame. Now let's go get Becky. Okay. I mean, hey, brother, if that is what works for you, man, like I said, you'll never hear me talking about interracial relationships on this show. As a negative or a positive, this show is all about what works for you. I'm not here to judge the next man. If you want a white girl, by all means, go get you the baddest white girl you can find. You understand what I'm saying? Because you should never have to. That's the main thing I talk about this show, because I talk about how I am relationship wise. So I don't necessarily want to be judged for how I am. So why would I want to judge anybody else? You understand what I'm saying? If you want a white girl, by all means, go get one. You're not going to hear me say no, because I believe life is all about choice, especially when we start talking about relationships. You should be able to get whatever you want. Now, the other question is, are you doing the things necessary to obtain those things? But a whole nother conversation. So once again, if that's what you want, by all means, brother, go ahead. Go ahead. I support it. Do your thing. You know what I mean? We'll get to that in a second, but your content, right? Let's talk about your content on social media. Big thing now is politics. And I know a lot of people might kind of sort of disagree, but it's like when you're talking about politics all day, if politics is your content, I know I was very heavy into politics a while back. I've kind of fell back. I'll post something every now and then. Most of the time, memes, something like that, right? But politics, you have to understand that No matter if you're on the left, right, middle, in between, you don't care about politics. Once you start talking about politics with your social media, you are now identifying as something, whether it be, wherever you decide to fall on the political spectrum. So when you start posting about politics, people could look at your social media and be like, oh my God, I disagree with their politics. They could find you attractive. They could find you interesting, but your political leanings are a turnoff. The things you post about, the politicians, the people that you post about are a turnoff, because especially if it seems to be the majority of your timeline, right? Like, I try to diversify my timeline. I try to go a little sports here, a little joke here, a little relationship meme here. Then it's like a little talk about something. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the president for like one post. Okay, then bam, I'm back to memes. I'm back to memes, right? So it lets, if I was still single, it would let somebody know that, yes, I know what's going on, but it's not my entire life, right? I know some people whose jobs, and if you actually work in politics, or it's actually something that you're supposed to be in, like you're getting a check to be in politics, perfectly fine, makes sense. But you have to understand, even if it's your job to be in politics, you're going to start to limit yourself depending on how high up in politics you are, right? Because if you're like me, let's just call it like a pundit, right? Like, I just got a YouTube channel or whatnot. I'm not talking people that work at like CNN, Fox News. They still gonna get whoever they pretty much want, because number one, they're making a lot of money for doing that, and then number two, they're going to be once again, they're going to be getting paid for that. So once again, you're going to have that money factor that's going to be brought in. So that's just something just to think about. Your content. Politics is a part of it. Now we got to ask, like, what are you posting? This one is for men and women. What type of pictures are you posting? What type of pictures? Because the one thing you got to understand with social media is like, it's like you're snitching on yourself. You understand? You're telling on yourself with your social media. Because look, I can go to somebody's profile and say, okay, look, okay, where they from? Okay, where they live at? Okay, relationship status. Well, that could be old, but okay, it says single. Might say it's complicated on Facebook, things like that. Okay, it's in a relationship. Oh, okay, so I know to fall back. You might not have updated your status properly, but you could now be causing people to, you can now cause people to do that. I think Cliff said he definitely thinks that it's easier for liberals to talk openly. I would say I think it's going to depend on location. It's going to depend on race. Is going to be a factor, of course, but I would more than likely tend to agree with you, because I don't want to say what's more acceptable. I'll just say, like, generally in the media space, a lot of those things that would be more left leaning, more liberal leaning, you can kind of sort of, especially, I'll just be honest, just being black, if you're talking about things that are leaning towards that liberal side, yeah, a lot of it's going to be not going to necessarily be a lot of resistance, you would think, but it would then mean that you would be stereotyping everybody in one box. But a lot of times, 9 out of 10, you will probably be right if you were stereotyping on the black side. So, you could gauge however you want to have your discussion in real life or in social media, but I think that would be something else. So what are you posting, right? Your pictures, your relationship status. Are you posting pictures? Now, remember, I told you you're snitching on yourself. So if I've got a picture on social media with a woman, right? Let's say, like, for example, I know I love this one picture that me and my 3 sisters took, right? It's me in the picture with 3 women. So obviously, if somebody who was interested in me saw the video, saw that picture, they would think, you know what? He's probably not in a relationship with any of those women, because there's 3 in the picture and they all look equally as quote unquote interested. You know what I mean? So it looks like a family picture. And then you would make sure you post, oh, with my fam, blah, blah, blah. You make sure you actually identify who these people are in this photo. Otherwise, it's going to leave people open a chance, because they're going to be looking for you with a picture, once again, of the opposite sex. Or if you're a homosexual, right, they're going to be looking for pictures of the same sex sometimes to try to see, okay, are you involved with somebody? That's what people are going to be doing. That's why your social media could be keeping you single, only because you don't update. So remember, what are you posting? So I want to talk to the ladies for a second. So men, I agree, Cliff. Internet pics last forever. Exactly. I want to talk to the ladies for a second. I'm going to get to the men, but ladies, once again, I call it the thirst trap, right? you're posting these pictures, most of the time in front of a mirror. Sometimes you're not as fully clothed. You could be partially clothed. You could be at the beach in a bikini. You could be wherever you are, right? When you post these pictures, number one, I know a lot of women do it for the attention. You could just do it because maybe it's a self-affirming thing for you. But the bottom line is, when you start posting pictures like this, you're going to start to get attention. So my question for you is, when you post a picture with your titties out or whatnot, is that the attention that you want to get? Because they're not focused on your mind. They're not focused on even your content at the time. It's like, oh wow, I see some titties out. Yeah, let me go ahead and comment on this. Let me like it. Let me put a heart to it. Let me do something, because you know what I mean? That's how it's going to be. So I think, especially for women, and I talked about this, and like I said, I'm gonna connect we talked about R. Kelly a little bit. I'm gonna connect it all together. What type of image does your social media say that you're trying to present to the world? Is it someone who is wholesome, that is looking for a legitimate, yeah, man, shout out Cliff, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. If somebody is looking at you, right, and somebody's looking at your image on social media, would they say, you look like, the word we used to use was fast, right? Do you look like you selling like your body? Do you look like you're trying to be an Instagram model? Do you want to be famous? A lot of these different things, because a lot of times this is an experimentation. So I go around and I'm looking at people's social media, and I'm looking, and when I see, like, some people still seem somewhat confused about why they could possibly be single. And I'm like, I don't understand how you could think that. But at this point, man, I'm gonna go ahead and open up them phone lines, man. So let me go ahead and do my little thing here and give myself a little break. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up them phone lines, man. So if you want to call in and check on your boy and just have a little conversation with me, man. Like I said, you don't have to be on camera. So you can be off camera, or you can be on video. I just need you to be on video for like 2 seconds. I'll give you the thumbs up, and you can turn your camera off if you want to. I just got to make sure ain't nobody gonna come in here trolling. So at least I can say, okay, well, not like I know everybody who calls in, but just in case, I can say, okay, that's a real person, not a troll. So let's go ahead and open the phone lines up. Man, so we back. All right, so cool. I just want to let everybody know this is the time where you can call in. You know how I do if you watched the show before. So there's a lucky number caller tonight, and this was Nobody Thought I Was Cheating. If you're watching over there at Libre TV, and you're over there in the chat, then you can see exactly which caller will be the lucky caller of the night. So I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out. But I'm just gonna keep going, until I get a caller, if I get a caller, right? So we talked about is your content on social media. What are you talking about? Politics, different things like that. What is your social media image? Now, the one thing that, I wanted to tie in from earlier was, remember, I was talking about R. Kelly, right? And I talked about, should a parent be held criminally liable for what their child is doing? Like, for example, you have an underage teen, right? Under the age of 18, you get them a phone, right? They get an Instagram, and their Instagram account looks like a grown woman. They're taking pictures of themselves. Instagram is not supposed to like nudity and stuff like that, but they're taking pictures of themselves, inappropriate pictures, stuff like that. They're now starting to interact with people who are on social media looking for that. Does the parent bear any weight in that? Because you were the one who supplied the phone. You were the one who, I hate that term, but it's just the truth. You enabled that to happen. So because you enabled that to happen, what should happen to the parents in a lot of these situations? Because when I'm looking at people's social media, now, because I guess I'm going to call myself a content creator, right? I have to look at social media a little bit different. It's like a necessary part of life for me sometimes. You know, it's a part where I have to stay in the mess of things. Like sometimes people be like, "Yo, where did you find that meme? Where did you get that from?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I stay in the mess." You know, that's how I get some of this good content sometimes. But it's like if I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do podcast anymore. I'm not going to do any of this stuff anymore. Like I would probably delete everything. You know what I mean? And I would just like just go back to normal where you call people, you talk to people, and people on social media who know me personally, who have my phone number, they will be able to still keep in contact with me. Everybody else, hey, it is what it is at that point, you know. But I think you have to understand, like, there are consequences to your social media. You know what I mean? There are a lot of different consequences to what you're doing. So I know I said I was going to get to the ladies, right? I talked to the ladies first. I want to talk to the men. Now, men on the other side, right? What is your social media say about you? Are you, you know, on somebody's page a lot? Are you on somebody's page, you know, liking their post a lot? Are you, you know, you're commenting under the same person's comments a lot? You know what I mean? So it will be a situation where, like, if you're in a relationship, somebody could go back and look and be like, "Yo, why are you always on her post?" Somebody could go and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different things that could be messing you up, but a lot of times we don't even take that into consideration. Hold on. Let me just add the link on Twitter. So if anybody's watching me over there on Twitter wants to tap in, you may. But these are the things that you have to take into account, because every time you like something, somebody can go back and see what you like. If you've been watching anything, especially like a lot of sports people, a lot of entertainers, movie producers, things, people have gone back to see what post did they like, right? Somebody sees you like the post, you retweeted the post, you shared a post, right? That all goes into like your social media kind of sort of, if you're single and you don't want to be, it all goes into like your social history of what people can do to look you up. Okay, well, let me go see who this person's retweet. Okay, let me go see what's the last comment, who they comment on, how do they comment on this person's page. Like, search on any sort of social media is designed to do that. You can type in somebody's label, right? I mean, or their handle, their username, and then put somebody else's username, and then you can see how many times they've interacted on social media. It's not a very difficult thing to do, but I think a lot of times people don't realize, and they might not care, that's fine, but I just say it's a lot of women, especially. You take a lot of selfies, you get a lot of attention from men, and you're single, and you wonder why these men, right? Like, it's like the attention that you get on social media, it's almost to the point where you hope it's sufficient for everything else, because if it's not, all that attention is not getting you closer to where you want to be. So if you're posting a lot of pictures of yourself, you're posting a lot of videos of yourself, and you're still single, you got to be able to kind of connect them two dots. Because if you're not connecting the dots, you're going to remain single, and your social media is going to continue to basically just drag you out of the dating game and continue to keep you in a status that you don't want. So, like, I can go back and I can analyze myself. When I was single, I took a lot more selfies, right? I used to take a lot more pictures out and about doing things, blah, blah. Now that, you know, I'm married, man, you lucky to see me. You know what I mean? You'll see me on the podcast. You might see me on a quick live, but like, I don't just sit around taking pictures of myself. I don't sit around just taking, you know, just pictures and pictures so I can try to get some more attention my way, because the problem that normally comes with attention is the fact that a lot of people, the more contact you got to understand, because when you want to start, I'm gonna kind of go talk about fidelity for like 2 seconds, but when you want to start talking about loyalty, the least opportunities that somebody has to like get at you, right? That is going to increase the probability that you won't cheat. It's going to increase your loyalty, right? So, for example, men like to show off money, cars, cribs. You know, a lot of times, you know, you in the gym, you like to show off your body, things like that, right? So if you're doing that, right, and you're in a relationship, then who do you think is going to be attracted to all that attention? Probably other women, right? So if multiple women are attracted to what you're posting, and it ain't even really like, you're posting, you got to analyze yourself. Who am I posting this for? Same thing goes with the women. When you post pictures of your body, you're posting the little TikTok videos, or the one that's really annoying to me that I talked about was I don't know why this became a thing, but where it's like you zoom in and then you pan out and then you I don't know. It looks like I know, like before, like the Star Wars Lucasfilm thing comes up, right? It'll say like this type of motion could cause like seizures and stuff like that. I don't know why somebody would want to post on social media something that could possibly cause a seizure. But yeah, that's how I feel when I watch some of these things. It's all these like TikTok videos and 2-minute clips of you doing random stuff, you singing, you know what I mean? Like you lip singing a song. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm just saying, when you do these things, ladies, you are bringing a lot of attention to yourself. You're bringing a lot of probably unwanted attention to yourself. So I feel like if you would kind of sort of do what I would call is a social media cleansing, you will be a lot better off. I was off of social media. I ain't gonna lie. Like, this is my thing. I got married off of social media. You understand what I'm saying? I was on social media heavy. I was heavy into the politics. I was doing this and I was talking this. And then I was like, you know what? This is just too much. And I just closed down my Facebook. I wasn't on Twitter at the time. My Instagram has been there for 12 years. I might have 100 posts on there. I'm not on Instagram that much. And I just really just shut all of that out. And that allowed me the time to actually focus and dedicate myself to a person or whatever the case may be, because I'm not so concerned about everything else that I've going on. It's like, now that I'm married, yeah, I can come back on social media, but it's not like I have to continue to post every day. Oh, I got to say something. Oh, if I don't say something, somebody might stop following me. Oh, if I don't post a picture, or if I don't get this many likes on this picture, I don't need that anymore, right? Because I got my goal has been accomplished. But I think a lot of times, especially like I said, you ladies, y'all have these horrible social medias, and your social media is terrible. You know what I mean? It's no way around it. It's terrible. It's got pictures you shouldn't be posting. It's got things you shouldn't be saying. That's another thing I got to get into. If you are overly negative versus the person that you're trying to attract, whether it be men, right? So I'm gonna go to men first, right? Men, if you're overly negative about women on your on your social media, good luck finding one. If you're overly, I guess the term would be chauvinistic, misogynistic, like you over there talking about, a woman, I joke around with it sometimes. I like my sandwich memes or whatnot, but I'm married, so I can say that. But if you're single, you can't really be joking about, only a woman's only good for a sandwich. Because once again, somebody who's from the outside looking in might feel you, but they come and see that and they're like, dang, I don't know if this is a joke or not. I really don't want to find out. But it's like you've already turned them off to something that could potentially go. Jeff said that's exactly how I react to those videos. I think we're old men, so hey, I feel you. You know what I mean? Like, it could be an age gap, but I got a nephew that's 22 and he keeps me grounded. And I know my nephew is not a representation of every 22-year-old out there, but he tells me he thinks they're stupid as well. I don't see why anybody is posting all this nonsense. I don't know who was the creator, who was the founder, who was the first person to start doing this, but it's like, it makes no sense that the things that people post, and then they have no idea why they remain single. So these are the type of things that I think a lot of people should kind of analyze, and basically just do, you got to do some self-reflection, and you got to say, why am I single? Am I single because maybe, there are multiple reasons why people are single. It could be compatibility, communication with other people. It could just be you need to take some time and work on yourself. But in this digital age that we live in, all the information that you want to find in somebody is right at your fingertips, a lot of times right on your phone. So the guesswork is basically brought out of it. And it's a situation where we're able to connect to the entire world instantly. And I think sometimes we take that for granted because you can connect to anyone, anywhere, instantly. That is a lot of accessibility to other human beings. You understand what I'm saying? Because I could talk to a young lady right now that lives in New York. I could talk to one that lives in China. I could talk to one that lives in Africa, Caribbean, Brazil. It don't matter. I don't even got to speak your language anymore. I can translate everything that you say, and you can translate everything that I say, and we can have some sort of communication with each other without even speaking the same language. So when you have that much access, that many options, it now complicates things, because relationships, let's just be honest, were complicated enough when it was you had to get somebody's phone number. You know what I'm saying? And you had to actually call them, interact with them in public. Now, all of a sudden, we got this new digital, everything is quick, everything is fast, everything is just boom, instant. It's like, man, it has only caused relationships to get more complicated. Some people could say it's causing them to be easier because with that access, you now kind of can see everything that's out there. Some things that you might not even thought you were interested in. You're able to find that out pretty easily because of everything that social media can give you access to. So that's another reason why, right? Because, I just think that's something else that, you need to kind of talk about. So I'm going to move on to my last topic that I told you I was going to talk about on my nice little video that I made earlier. And that's DM etiquette. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this out the way. When you start talking about direct message, DM direct messaging, when you're talking to somebody on social media, if you are in a relationship, married, whatever the case may be, then in my opinion, your significant other should be able to go through your DMs and not find anything that will get you in trouble. That means that the conversation that you are having should be open to the world. Okay. So your direct message or your DM should be clear of any evidence. You know what I mean? If this was if your DMs were the scene of the crime, it don't mean because you deleted everything or you blocked somebody or you deleted all the images that you were getting. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about how you interact with people in direct messages, right? Should be at a level that your spouse, your partner you're dealing with should be able to go look at that and not have any issues. And the reason why I say DM etiquette is because I think, once again, this is something else that has been lost. For me, right? I remember, sometimes when I would go find people for the shows that I would do, or I'm looking for a guest, or I'm looking for a guest host, or I'm looking for somebody. It's like going to somebody's DM, you got to kind of sort of let them know, like, hey, look, not trying to holler at you. I just want to let you know, I've kind of seen you post some things lately. I really like your content. I do podcasts. If it would be cool, I'd love to have you on the show. And then I leave it like that. It's not no, hey, pretty young lady, hey, what's going on? Oh, you so because now if somebody was to go back and look at that, now all of a sudden I'm in trouble because I was outside of the parameters of what I should have been in, right? Same thing goes, like, this is like men, right? Men, if you're in a relationship, your DM should be clean. Remember, this is the Pollywood podcast, right? So I've already, put myself out there as being polyamorous in what I do with the multiple wives, not multiple women. I'm not poly. I'm not in no triad. I'm not in the open relationship. None of that other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're telling somebody that you're monogamous, your DM should be clear, right? Why would you, as a monogamous person, be in a relationship, but you're also claiming to be monogamous, but you're also interacting with other women in your messenger and your DMs? It's like, you, sir, or you, ma'am, need to go ahead and there ain't no coming out the closet, but it's like, you got to be able to at least admit that you have the ability to engage and interact with multiple people at the same time. Now, some people be like, oh, that's, speed date. No. What I'm saying is, if you are purely monogamous, that means one person at one time. If you're speed dating, or if you got a team, as they like to call it, that's polyamory. I don't even understand why that would even be any debate on that. But I think that there are certain things that, like I said, we have to continue to look at and you have to continue to analyze. But bottom line is your DMs have to be clear. The same thing goes with you ladies, because I just talked about the men and what they should have. If you're in a relationship and a man DMs you like, hey, beautiful, whatever, blocked instantly. It should not even be up to debate to even see what the person wants. It should be an instant block if you even feel for a second that his advances or his reason for contacting you could be romantic in nature. If this ain't nobody you know, this is, you know, some of y'all got fans out there on social media. But apparently, looks like I got my first caller, like it's one of my regulars. So everybody out there, man, let's go ahead and give a warm welcome to King Alowo is back in the building, man. What's up there, brother? How are you?
One of your regulars. That's all right. What's going on, man?
That's right, man. One of my regular callers. You know you my dog, but you know, for the sake of the show, you are one of my most consistent callers, man. You know who you are, man. I'm just saying, you know, this is a regular caller. People who have watched the shows, they know King Alowo because you've been on other platforms, you've been doing this. But
correct.
Let's get into it.
I appreciate the topic, man. You know,
no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's.
We're freezing up a little bit. Can you hear me?
Okay, I should be back now. Yeah, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm back.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, you're freezing.
So, internet.
Yeah, forgive me if I can't hear you. It seems like you're freezing up a little bit, bro.
Was
this isn't good.
Of sex trafficking, and you feel like the parents have any criminal responsibility?
You're talking about the parents of the R. Kelly victims, correct?
Correct, of the R. Kelly victims, yes.
Absolutely. You know, like they should be prosecuting the parents right along with R. Kelly. But unfortunately, the narrative has been just simply just getting R. Kelly, and there was a whole propaganda campaign, millions of dollars spent to basically create the new narrative to get him locked up on charges that he already beat. Now, I'm not taking up for R. Kelly, good, bad, or indifferent, but you know, the parents are just as responsible, like, because they were willing participants in the fuckery. So if you're a willing participant, then
yeah. One, do you agree with the premise of the topic? Do you believe that for men and women that their social media could keep them single?
It most certainly can if you let it. Absolutely, yeah. It most certainly can if you let it. Because what you made me think about MoneyGram. MoneyGram. What you made me think about was
that's right.
Basically in my dating life, for sure. Yeah, like basically in my dating life, any woman that, like the women that I've dealt with seriously, they use social media for what it was supposed to be used for. I mean, like keeping in contact with people that you already know, as you stated.
Okay.
Outside of you know, very recently, like social media has been used for pretty much the same way on my end. So, like when I think about the women that I've had serious relationships with, none of their social media were big. None of them were. So.
And when you say big, okay, let's break that down. What do you consider someone with a big following?
Well, I would say,
What's a big following here?
uh, well, okay, like for example, on Instagram, for a woman, if you have, I would say for a woman,
Mhm.
if you have 800 followers or more, you have a pretty big imprint on social media.
Okay, on Instagram, so that'd be 800. What about? I know you're not on Twitter, but what about Twitter?
Well, Twitter,
Would you say it would be
again,
comparable to Instagram, maybe?
pretty much like, okay, like anything over 1,000, 50, 100, couple thousand. I mean, like again, like
Okay,
you have a
so a little bit bigger on Twitter. And
right.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you feel that on Facebook is a little bit more leeway because you're supposed to actually know everybody you're in contact with on Facebook?
Well, yes, Facebook gives you a little bit more leeway, and there's also the fact that Facebook is a little bit dated. Um, so there's a lot of older people on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like Facebook isn't flooded with young folks like it was a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? Like now, it's a platform that
Right.
pretty much everybody uses. You know, like you got, like your grandma probably got a Facebook page, or somebody old ass aunt, somebody old ass uncle got a Facebook page, and I mean, right? So it's kind of what it's become. You know, people be having church sermons on Facebook. It'd be so funny. I mean, so right. So Facebook is just crowded. It's just a lot of
Okay,
people with a lot of traffic on Facebook, so it's not quite the same.
got you. Okay, and the
Well,
last thing I want to ask you is, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry.
when I say crowded, I mean like crowded with like again, like there's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of people over the age of 45 on Instagram, for
Right.
example. Like
Right.
like right, like Instagram is like young Gen Xer and below, typically. Facebook is
Right.
everybody,
So age
like
is definitely
all age groups. So yeah,
right.
yeah, that's what
Got
I
you.
mean by
Okay,
crowded.
so
Right, got you.
I got you. Okay, and my final question is going to be, um, do you believe? And I'm pretty sure you. I'm not. I don't want to guess what you're gonna say, but the the type of content that people post can keep them single. Like I talked about earlier about how if you're political and that's all you post about all day and all night, then you could be turning people off based on your political views one way or to the other. And you could be cutting off people who could be interested in you based on your political views. When I say content, I also say like, what are you posting? What does your social media say about you? Like, what is your social media image? So just to wrap that up in a nutshell and give you a direct question, um, how do you think content affects people being single based on their social media, like what they're posting,
How do I think
things like that?
content
What do you think?
in terms of like what people post, like how does it keep them single?
Yeah, like for example, I talked about what I used to post a lot. I used to post a lot about politics, probably 2017, 2018. That's all my timeline was. I didn't talk about sports. I didn't talk about anything really. I only talked about politics, right? So because that's what I did, that was be my focus. So I could have turned people off who could have been attracted to me, interested in me, because that is all I chose to talk about. Or like a woman who did selfies all day. She's half naked when I say by content.
Well,
Do you have any
well,
examples of things like that?
I mean, well, what would keep a woman single in terms of like what she posts on social media? Hold on one second. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yeah, like no, you're fine. Like I said,
Yeah, we working while we
if
podcasting,
you're
baby.
watching right now, you want to call in on
Yeah, like we.
I
Can you hear me,
posted the links
Solo?
on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So if you see the link, you can definitely click in and call in. So just letting everybody know you do not have to be on camera. If you look at my man King Alowo, you can upload whatever picture you want the world to see, or no picture at all, and we can just do it. Like I said, as a voice chat or anything like that. So if you do want to call in, you don't have to be on camera. It's not mandatory. Like I said, I just got to see you. Unless people who know me. I know I don't need you on camera. But yeah, if you're a stranger, then I just need to check you, make sure you're not trolling, and come on here doing something crazy or that you about to be having my channel snatch. So yeah, I just got to check that real quick, and we're gonna let it go. So King Aloha, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. It looks like the
All right.
audio is finally
Okay. Yeah,
caught
go
up
ahead.
because there was a little bit of a drag there. All right, so to answer your question,
Yeah, go ahead.
like how a woman, for example, would keep herself single based on what she posts. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, I don't think most men who are looking for wives, for example, most smart men, I guess I'd be biased and say that, but you know, if if a woman has lots and lots of content that leave very little to the imagination, thirst trap pics, you know, there's seemingly no privacy. It's like there's nothing to imagine or preconceive about this woman because she pretty much reveals everything about herself, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
positive or negative, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, like like they even
Right.
go live. Like then, if you have a massive amount of followers, like 20, 30, 40,000 plus, up into the hundreds
Mm-hmm.
of thousands, like you can go live, pretty much do a show, like a live impromptu show where 100 or 200 or so of your followers will sit there and interact with you, and you just saying random things about yourself, spilling
Yeah.
tea, and you know what I'm saying. And you know, I would I might jump on the occasional person's live just to see what they might be talking about, and all I
Right.
hear and all I hear is a bunch of are you finna cash at me? I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? So if that don't
Yeah,
keep
and
you
then
single,
another
what will?
comment on is yeah, I think another thing that's keeping people single is when they talking about, like I said, their interaction, especially like if you're in a relationship or married, right? If you're in a relationship or married, why does your social media tell us how you feel about your partner unless it's just your undying love or how great that person is? You probably shouldn't be on social media trying to vent and put your relationship business out there because I've seen that done way too many times. Like you'll be watching somebody's social media and you might like, oh, they got good content. Oh, okay, I like a tweet here, tweet there. Then all of a sudden it's like, I you did this to me, and it's like something that's really, really personal, and you're kind of like, yeah, I don't really think he or she should probably be talking about this, but
Correct.
do your thing. I think that's keeping you single as well because people are going to know if hypothetically something was to go wrong, it's going to be put on social media. You're going to be put on blast, and also depending on the following. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna try to put you on blast, and it's like it's not a good feeling, and you wouldn't feel comfortable dating or being with someone where you knew that could end up problematic. So, yeah, man. You got any final comments, man? Before I let you go, man, I'm gonna hopefully get a couple more calls here in the next couple of minutes here before I go ahead and shut things down, and we'll go ahead and get back to things next week. But you got any final words for the people out there? Or you said everything. Or how you feeling?
I mean, well, just to piggyback off of what you said, I think that you know, I mean, like social media has gone far beyond what it was quote unquote initially designed to do. Like I think the people that created it obviously knew what social media will ultimately become. So it's all kind of tongue in cheek in that regard. You know, like they knew the monster that they created when they created it, and some of us have fallen victim to it. So it's like that's a part of a lot of people's
Gotcha.
validation.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying like like that.
Yeah,
It's
no
become a
doubt.
part of a lot of people's validation, and that is problematic in and of itself. So,
Got you. Cool, man. Well, I don't know what time you caught us, but I am doing a paternity test in a couple of weeks, and I just
okay,
want to get your opinion on it, and you can just answer the question as truthfully as you feel, just because I got you on here.
gotcha.
Kobe.
I
Right?
mean, he looks
Been
like
rumors
a
that
Jack
Kobe
Russell to
has
me.
some Chihuahua in him.
Oh, you know
So
what?
we're
I
just
do see
going
it.
to when the okay, so when the paternity this is Kobe as a child, right? So I'm like, shoot, I ain't got nobody else in queue. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. All right. So this is Kobe. I believe he was maybe 8 weeks at the time. So I would like to know your opinion. I don't know if you're, what's your familiarity with dogs, but do you believe that Kobe is going to have some Chihuahua in him? Oh, let me rephrase that. Do you believe Kobe will have more Chihuahua in him than Beagle or Jack Russell? That is the question. Will Chihuahua be his dominant gene?
He looks like well, to me, he looks like a Jack Russell and a Chihuahua mix. I don't see any Beagle in him at all.
Okay.
Of course, I could be wrong, but it's like I'm trying to see like where the Beagle might.
Okay, so you do believe that we was this chart that we about to send. Oh, put it back up.
Oh no, you ain't gotta put it back up. I'm just
There
saying,
he
like,
is.
like just
Okay, gotcha.
I
So
don't
what you're
see the
telling,
Beagle aspect now.
got you. So what you're saying is you do believe there will be some Chihuahua on this report. Is that what I'm hearing?
Definitely. I mean, like
Okay.
Chihuahuas have sharp ass claws too, and yeah, his claws are extremely sharp. Yeah, I'm finna pull out.
All right. Well, once again, brother, I appreciate you. Go ahead. Oh yeah. No
I
doubt.
was
I know
talking
you
to
out
a
there working
coworker.
hard,
Sorry,
man.
yeah.
I appreciate you. Yeah, no, you good. Like I said, man, appreciate you calling in tonight, checking in. Like I said, I believe it's going to be either the last week in October, we're going to do the paternity show, or a little bit before then. My sister is laughing at me because you said you think he's a whatever, but it's all right.
All right, bro. Well, hey man,
all right,
great
excuse me. Let me
show.
get off my
I
but
appreciate
nice talking to
I
you again, brother.
appreciate your content, man.
Yeah.
All right, later, peace.
All right, thank you, brother, man. Have a good night. Be safe out there in them streets, man. All right. So, apparently it seems like the world is against me on my dog's paternity, but we will get this solved because now in the day and digital age, it's not a guessing game anymore. Same way you can find out somebody's paternity, like if you're trying to figure out who's the father of your child, you can do the same thing with dogs, and you can find out their exact DNA based on same way you kind of do it with a DNA swab in the mouth. So we're gonna definitely see where and basically see if I got bamboozled at the pet store, or maybe they put him in the wrong area, because he was next to some Chihuahua mixes in the pet store I went to. But that's another story for another day. Man, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. If you haven't already, man, make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on make sure you is he talking about she's Team Chihuahua? No, Team Jack Russell, man. That's what you got to be on, man. Team Jack Russell all the way. So man, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You understand what I'm saying? On YouTube. All right, that's gonna be at Libre TV, Libre TV. Make sure you look for the cloud. you know. Another thing, you got to turn your notifications on. Put that bell. You got to click that bell so when I go live, ding, you get a thing. Because just subscribing is not enough. You got to subscribe and hit the bell and put all, because I only go live maybe once or twice a week. So it's not like I'm going to be updating you with nonsense or nothing like that. So just make sure you keep track of everything we got going on. Man, I really enjoyed the show tonight. Shout out to everybody who chimed in and gave your opinions in the chat room. That's always greatly appreciated. Like I said, y'all always help produce the show, because the interaction and the feedback that I get, it always helps me make the show a lot better and a lot easier. But it's about 8:05. I got a nice little run that I got to go do in the morning. Hopefully I got some dinner being made right now. I gotta go find something to eat real quick, but I'm about to go. So, man, once again, appreciate everybody checking in. I should be back tomorrow doing a show with my boy, that boy Birdie, on his channel, Real is Red TV, tomorrow at I believe 9 p.m. is normally the go time. So I do gotta. I also be doing a Kamikage tomorrow too, because I gotta catch up on What If. Still haven't seen Shang-Chi yet. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait, because I'm going to go see Shang-Chi and I'm going to go see the new Venom. And I'm going to give a non-spoiler review this weekend at my normal time. So until next time, it's been your boy MoneyGram. See y'all next week.